to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Okay, welcome to the Dave Darin Show. Long time no see. I haven't seen much of an audience in a long time. But I've got here Silhouet on the show. Welcome to the show, Silhouet. How are you, man?
How you doing? How you doing?
Hey, pretty good. Not too bad at all.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
Yep, you're my first candidate, my first victim on the Dave Darin Show. So thanks for joining. And we'll have to have you on in the future when I get a larger audience, because of course I'm just starting out, so it's a little bit slow. But it'll pick up pace as we roll along, and I'll have you come back on once we have a normal amount of people here, okay?
Right, that'd be great.
Okay, cool. So, by the way, I'm a little run down today and a little tired, so I might move slower. And I'll tell you, are you curious as to why I'm tired today?
Yeah, sure. Tell me about it.
Sure, right? So I was watching your video with the 3 chicks, okay? And they were nicely dressed or nicely semi-dressed. So I'm an old guy. I had to whack off to all 3 of them. So... And I'm old now. It takes me a while to recharge. So the first one was 12 o'clock midnight, 3-hour recharge, 3 o'clock, 3-hour recharge, 6 o'clock. Now I did go to sleep at 6:01 because I'm old. It doesn't last long. So I'm a little bit tired. I'm worn out. I only had an hour of sleep after all that whacking off to the 3 chicks in the video. So we're going to play that video in a little while. But let me talk to you. I promised my audience I'd try to be more serious and less screwballish like I was before. But so let me ask you some questions that are going to be legitimate questions here. So, by the way, your first inspirations of your music. Think back to before you started, before you had any interest in being a performer. Who were your initial inspirations for you?
My initial inspirations was Dave Gahan from Depeche Mode. He's the lead singer, frontman of Depeche Mode. I also was inspired by Morrissey. He's had a long solo career, but he's also the front man of the Smiths back in the 80s. So those were my 2 main inspirations. But also folks like, I grew up listening to bands like Korn and Faith No More in the 90s as well. So those were my go-to inspirations. But definitely Dave Gahan. If you listen to anything in my discography, you'll hear Dave Gahan inspiration there. You'll hear a bit of Morrissey here and there. So yeah.
Okay. Has it changed over the years? Because obviously music's changed a lot, especially from when I was a performer. Things have changed a lot. You've changed a lot. We've all changed personally, inner-wise, outwardly, and all that.
Yeah.
So what's changed? Inspirations, have they changed for you specifically? Like anyone new come to mind that's really kind of cutting edge now, that's really popular, that you've latched onto and said, it's a great feel for me, I'm interested in this type of music? What do you think?
Even though there are some good songs out there that I've heard recently, in terms of a band or an artist providing such an impact or inspiration, it really hasn't happened for me. I think the last few artists that I just briefly mentioned, they came out, in the 80s and 90s, and that was the only thing that gave me a very big impact. But there's artists out there nowadays that are coming out that are inspiring these new younger kids and younger audiences. So I understand how that goes. There was this one band that I don't know exactly where. I think they're from Vancouver, Canada. I forget the name, but they have a song called Brand New or Brand Love New, and that's a really cool tune, but I can't think of the actual artist name. So
yeah, if you do though, let me know.
It just goes to show.
Yeah, maybe I can have them on.
Right, it just goes to show. Like I'll listen to the radio from time to time, but a lot of people these days don't even listen to radio. They'll just be on like Spotify. And find music that way, or Jamendo, for example. So.
Yeah, and that's how I met you on Jamendo, because I'm in the car, I'm playing music, I'm playing either Sirius XM or dare listen to regular radio with all the commercials. But you listen to those programs, you hear the same. It's almost like it was before. You hear the same song with nothing new. So I go on Jamendo to find new music. I found you that way, and the band that I want to have on Thursday, I found them also on Jamendo. So I bet now you got to go through and you got to listen to a lot of tracks before you find someone that's
Right.
rocking it enough to be on the show. So that's how I
Right.
found you. So I'm curious about this new music. And you talked about, trying to find that little niche of someone who might inspire you now, and it's a little harder. Do you like today's pop music? You interested in today's
I
pop
mean,
music?
some
What
of
do you
it.
think?
I think some of the today's pop music is fine. Some of it is definitely oversaturated with production. I mean, I like Harry Styles, for example. I like some of his tunes. He probably has like 5 or 6 songwriters working for him,
Hmm.
and then he's got other producers. He's probably got on one album alone. He's probably got various producers trying to get their piece of the pie on an album. But like Harry Styles, for example, he's one of the big pop stars nowadays, and I do like some of his tunes. Do I care for his imagery? Not necessarily. It doesn't really jive with me, but it does jive with an audience, and there's a market for it. So
Yeah. You know what's tricky too nowadays is with, we've had the auto tune for a while. So voices can be changed to sound better than they are, but you can hear that it's auto tune. It's very easy to catch that in your ear, the fact that it's auto tune. Now we got AI. In fact, we had the Beatles song that
right,
came out recently, and they grabbed
right,
John Lennon's voice via AI. So now you have to wonder, and everyone's going to wonder, and they did. I got on some of the podcasts and I was listening. People think that the AI is also mixed with auto tune and correcting the voice, maybe not being as authentic. So now you got not only auto
right,
tune, but you got AI making people think that this is not the real artist. So it's a little bit harder now to
right,
to make sure that this is what I got. This is when we see the guy on stage performing, we're going to hear what we heard that we liked that brought us to the venue, right?
right,
It's tricky now.
right. And yeah, I mean, it's a scary time, especially for artists that know that technology is out there to manipulate their voice or even
Yeah.
steal their voice, depending on what kind of contract you have with a label or whatever. They can technically use your voice for future generations, even after you've passed, like we see with John Lennon's voice or
Yeah.
that Beatles song that came out. So it's scary, but at the same time, we'll see how far this AI progresses. We don't know exactly where exactly it's going, but
Yep.
I don't know.
All right, so what we'll do now is we'll play one of your songs. Give us a little bit about the song that we're going to hear right now. How did you write it? How did you get those hot chicks involved? How did you get them? First of all, how did you get them involved?
Actually, so I've been working with my director since 2019, and he goes to a lot of shows, and he happened to meet the girls at a show. They're doing a Vaudet. They're part of the Vaudettes. So the Vaudettes, they do like female empowerment shows and stuff, and so that's how I got in contact with Amy, who's one of the dancers in the video. And then she's the owner of the Vaudettes, and she happened to recruit 2 other girls. And so that's how I got in contact with the girls. We signed a contract together, making sure that it's all legit. Actually, one of the girls is the daughter of Eddie Guerrero, who used to be a former WWE wrestler. So there's a little information there. So yeah, we got the girls. We set up the dates. We actually did the whole video in just 2 hours. We shot the whole video in just 2 hours.
Wow.
And it turned out really awesome. The song originally was written by my brother. He's a co-writer. He's actually the primary songwriter. I'm more of the singer and performer, kind of like Depeche Mode, where you have Dave Gahan as the frontman and Martin as the songwriter. So it was written by my brother initially, but I co-produced it and we enhanced it over the years. And it, as you see, it's kind of where it's at right now. So.
Yep. I better be careful because if I mention anything bad, you're going to have Eddie knocking on my door, the wrestler, and I'm going to be buried in the backyard, and I'll be able to do no more shows. I'll be able to do shows in hell.
Right.
Yeah. By the way, the girls are kind of dressed like as rabbits. Did any of them pull a rabbit out of your hat or anything like that?
No, nothing. No tricks like that.
No tricks like that. Bummer for you.
But yeah, the girls stuck with their. I wanted to differentiate the girls from myself. So the plaything's about kind of being falling in love, but also being manipulative, right? So the reason and you'll see in the video, I'm dressed as the black bunny, and then the girls dressed as white bunnies,
Yeah.
and it was just kind of create that contrast, between dark and evil. I mean, light and dark, or evil and good,
Yeah.
sort of say. So that's kind of what we were going for, imagery-wise.
Plus, you're going for today's diversity. You got the
Right.
contrasted color there, so that you're diverse. Okay, let's play the song so
Right.
now that everybody can hear it. Here we go on the Dave Darin Show. This is Silhouette. Name of the track is Plaything, and here we go. Okay, we're back live on the Dave Darin Show. What did you guys think of that video? I wonder how many of my visitors to the show are going to replay that and do the same thing I did. I wonder how many.
Hey, mate, it's possible. You never know. I mean, the
Never know.
sexy girls in there, so.
Yeah. No, I especially like the one. I don't know which one it was or what part of the video is in, but she had a little bit of wiggle in the booty. I kind of like that. The little wiggle
Oh,
there.
yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I like that little. It reminds me of the long time ago the Jello commercials. I always like Jello, so I like seeing that in the booty. I like the Jello booty mix.
That's right. Yeah. Same here.
Yeah, there we go. So let me ask you a question now. Here's a serious question beyond all the jokes I do, but I'm curious about this, and this is what I did. I did the show for a while. I set goals of how much success I wanted to have with the show, which is not the best way to do things. But I did that. I decided, okay, I'm going to put this mark at a certain time frame. If I've hit this much success, then I'm going to continue the show, and I didn't, so I stopped it. So I'm curious from a band's perspective, do you have the same thing, or do you just love the music enough where you can't stop? And obviously I love doing the show enough that I'm back now. But out of curiosity, do you have that in mind? I've got to hit this level, whatever it is, whether it's success or whether it's enjoyment. Do you put a goal in there, try to achieve it? And if you don't achieve it, are you going to stop?
Yeah, I mean, there's always goals in mind, whether it's like hitting a certain amount of subscribers on YouTube or amount of listeners on Spotify. I mean, obviously my brother and I, we love what we do, which is writing music and releasing music to the world. And so we'll be doing it, on a yearly basis. Maybe down the line, maybe in 5 years, we might call it quits. But right now we're enjoying what we're doing, so there's no point in stopping. Yeah. Even if some of our goals might be not where they're at, but it's always good to have some goals in mind, but kind of have loose expectations, I guess you should say. So.
Yeah. Do you think music's a hard business? Like you've done other things probably, and do you do other things in parallel to music right now? Do you have like a parallel thing going on and music, both going on at the same time?
I mean, I actually work full time, but so
that's what I meant.
I don't really have anything like directly parallel to music. And music's my only artistic outlet right now. And then doing music videos obviously is my own in terms of like direction and being a producer for the music videos. But yeah, I have a full time job, so it's and I generate some income from my music, whether it's through Apple iTunes downloads or Jamendo or streams from Spotify or whatever. So
yeah, and that's what I was getting at, because a lot of people like me, I have an alternate job to this, although I just retired a couple of weeks ago, so now I can come back and do this. But that's what let me ask you this question, because sometimes I think I do 3D printing a lot. I actually play the guitar, and I do the radio show. So I got three things that are competing for my time. Which is kind of a bummer. I wish I only had. Now some people might think I don't have talent doing the music show that I'm doing now, but I wish I had like one talent instead of three. Do you find that to be an avenue that's a little bit cumbersome for you? Do you have multiple things that you do that require talent, and you wish you just had one thing and that's all you could do, and you're going to focus on it entirely?
Yeah, I mean, I struggle with that too. Part of me is like, I feel like I need multiple things to do because I hate boredom. I don't like being bored, and I think that's the reason why I get into many different things. So I have I have multiple things I could do at the same time, whether it's my music, whether it's my full-time job, whether it's I roast coffee on the side as well because I love coffee. So I roast coffee on the side. So I do different things just to occupy my time. And if I feel like if I put my eggs in one basket, and things don't go as planned, then I just get bummed out or depressed, and I don't want to get into a depressive mode or state of mind.
Yeah.
So that way, I keep myself occupied with various ventures, I guess you could say.
Yep. I don't roast beans at all, but my wife does roast my beans periodically. So it's coming up on Christmas time, by the way. So I'm gonna say goodbye to you for today's show. I'm going to thank you for being my
Yeah.
first warm-up guest to rock the show and get going. It's Christmas time.
That's
I'm looking.
Thanks, Dave.
I'm on Apple or on Amazon, and I'm kind of bummed out that they don't have any sales, Black Friday sales for vibrators. I'm bummed out about that. So if Amazon's happen to listen, put the vibrators on sale for my wife, please. That's the Christmas gift I'm hoping to get her. So Silhouette,
That's right.
thanks so much for being on the show. I'm going to have you on again once the show starts rocking and we have more visitors, so you get more of a bang for your buck for being on the show, okay?
That's right. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it.
All right, cheers, man. Talk to you soon, all right?
All right.
Have a great one.
Cheers. Likewise.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.